Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 different versions of how to sew in a signature. Well, technically 6, but you really can't count the first one because it's something I've shown quite a bit on the channel. But there's 5 new versions that I've never done before, and I've been using my new templates that I have up in the store. The first one is the one that, like I said, I've done before, 3-hole pamphlet, real quick. Don't really show it, but that's the first one. The second one, I will do a 5-hole spine with sewing journal and do the normal way that most get taken care of. The next version is going to be a modified 5-hole, where instead of every other hole, I use the top 2 and bottom 2 and the center one to create a spine. I start this one on the outside of the journal, so it ends up getting tied on the outside versus the normal everything else on the inside. So a little version on how to do that, and I finish it off a little differently than I do normal journals. The next one, I actually take all 9 holes and use them, and it's a take on a cross stitch, back stitch, where I do a back stitch for the entire journal. This can be done with the 9-hole like I have here, but it also can be done with just 7 holes or 5 holes. Same technique, just less holes, but I thought the 9-hole was very cool for that. The next one I do is a 5-hole, but I actually create like a handle out of beads to make kind of like a purse tote. It would need a closure on there because it wants to fold open, but very cute. You probably wouldn't want to put stuff in there that would fall out, but a journal that just has pages that you write on, this would be very cute to be able to grab and take it somewhere to write. You could also make them where they're not hanging. I explained that in there straight, but I thought that was really cute for that. And then the final one that I show is, again, also a 5-stitch. But this one, on the spine, I have put buttons on the outside. So I show you how I did that with the 5-hole. Again, very simple. Probably could do that with the 3-hole also, but I do use the 5-hole. You do not need the templates to create these spines, by no means. You can create them however you want. The technique to sew them up, though, is universal. The fun part about the templates that I offer in my store is that the holes will always be in the same spot. They will always be that far apart. So you know that they are always going to be equal. And they got the fun tear edges on there. So, all right, well, I'm going to hand this off to earlier in the day, Lisa, so she can show you how these were all accomplished and give you some helpful hints on different ways you could make your own spines and sew in signatures. So I'm going to hand it off to, in the past, Lisa. Take it away. All right, thanks, future Lisa. I appreciate the introduction. All right, so I'm going to show you all of the binding techniques that I showed in the beginning of the video and how I did them. Now, I say 90% of these I've never done before, so this is kind of a let's just do it together and figure out how to do it. So the first one is the 3-hole pamphlet, which I'm not going to demonstrate today because I've done it quite a few times on the channel. This spring journal, I show how I did it, and there's other ones in the start to finish journals for the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I am not going to do that one. So the first one I'm going to do is a 5-hole where I do every other space. So I'm going to start with the top one, middle, that one, and then that one. So we're going to do that. Now I have created, I am using for a pseudo spine instead of a book. I am using these comic book dividers that I have. I did a video on them with the fabric journal cards. So they're thicker, they're sturdy. I thought this would be a great fill-in for doing an actual spine. But as you saw in the beginning, I do have the book where I'm going to show the actual using of a book to do this. But all the other ones, I'm just going to use this for it, just to make it a little bit easier. So for the first one, I'm going to do a 5-hole, like I said, every other. So I pre-holed this. But I think I'm going to, I wasn't going to use pages, I was just going to do the thread, but then I thought, you know what, I'd make it a little bit more realistic on how it's kind of an octopus to try to thread them. Like, I should probably do some papers. So I gathered just 5 single sheets of paper, nothing decorative, just the same weight I would normally do for the digitals, just to make it a little bit more realistic. And I'm going to use my templates to go ahead and do the holes. So I did, if you've seen previous videos, I do put a notch in the paper just to make it a little easier for me to see where the center is. And so for the first one, I'm just going to throw a quick clip in there. I don't know if it's correct or not. Pull these down so they're out of the way. So for this side, I'm going to make sure that it's centered in the notch. Make sure the back side is centered to that. And make sure they look fairly even this way, so the holes line up. And then I'm just going to go back to this side just to make sure it was, and I could see, it's hard to tell, but see how this is shifted over the thumb hole. So I'm just going to shift it just a little bit so the thumb holes are equal. All right, let's get our pokey jewel. And so, like I said, for the book page, I'm going to do the every other one for this. So we are going to that one, and that one. Now, I could lift it up and poke it through. I did poke myself earlier today, though, so I'm just going to go this way. Yeah, I guess I'm going to do it that way. Just to make sure my holes are nice and rounded, I guess you would call it. There we go. Okay. Now, as I was poking these, I'm like, I wonder if I should make, and I don't think, because I've got other holes where I use more holes for paper, but I might just not do the paper for the other ones. We'll see. Okay. All right, so now I've got the holes in there. I keep those on there to put them in the spine so they go correctly. So we're going to pretend that that is the actual spine. And I've got, all right, so for my thread, I normally do 2.5 to 3 times. 2, 3, I did 3.5 on this. It's just a pseudo thread. I'm probably going to not tie these and pull them out just to keep using it. I've never done a 5-hole, so I'm not sure how much more. I do the 2.5 to 3 for the 3-hole, and it's probably going to be the same, but in my mind, I don't know for sure. So, okay, sorry about that interruption. So as I was saying, so we are going to go through the center hole of the signature, and we're going to go through the spine, and we're going to leave, whoops, almost got a little crazy with the thread. So we're going to put that, and then we're going to go through the second hole. You can go top to bottom, whichever way you feel comfortable. And we're going to go and push this through. For that, we're going to pretend that's the top. And we're going to go through the tippy top one. All right, so get that straight. Okay, so once you've got the top, we need to get back down to these holes. So I'm going to come back through this hole. Try not to pierce the string as you go, just like the normal 3-hole, because then it will not pull. Can I pierce it? I have a long tail here. I think that's my problem is here. Okay, we are not going to go through the center. We're going to go to our bottoms. So we're going to go through the second one. Yeah, it looks like I pierced it. Well, at least I'm going to pull it out. And then we're going to go through the top one, or the bottom. And we're going to end up going back through that hole without piercing it, and then we will go through the center spine. Okay, so just like the 3-hole, we would make sure that each of our threads are on the opposite sides. Do some knots for it, and make sure that they're snugged up and not through the thread like there. And there you have a fun 5-hole. Easy peasy, right? Okay, well, I'm going to take this one apart and get set up for the next one. All right, for the second version, I have thought of doing is I have put the holes in the top 2 and the bottom 2 and one in the center, so they're a little bit more space like this. I have gone through while I was off camera, and I did put holes in all of them for future videos. Obviously this does not totally match this, but it's not a real signature. Okay, so for this one, I guess it doesn't, I guess that's the outside. All right, so for this one, I'm going to start with the thread on the outside because I want the tie to end up on the outside. So I'm going to put my thread in there, and we're going to come up the top and or bottom, second from the top, and pull that, and we're going to go down the tippy top one. Okay. So kind of like, well, exactly like the 5-hole stitch, we want to get to the bottom here. I am going to weave through there just to give it a little bit of a tie there. And we're going to go through the second from the top, second from the bottom, whatever you want to call that. And down through the last hole. Okay, and we will, and I'm not pulling it as snug as I would normally for an actual journal because I don't want to rip my pseudo paper here. So it's definitely looser than it would normally be for a journal. Okay, so we're going to go back then up through the center hole. Okay. All right, so we have, this is the outside spine, so we've got just a little dash of something, not a lot on the inside. Everything's going to be on the inside. Now for something like this, because there is so much string, this might be a good one to have one of those like envelopes in there, where after you've done your string, you close the lid on the envelope and you don't see this kind of deal inside. So it's a little messier on the inside, but so you have, like I said, the string here. And what I thought would be kind of fun would be to use like a button for it. This has a 4-hole. This has a 2-hole. So what you would do is get, okay, I probably could use my needle, but my guess is the hole is too small. And I'd have to rethread my thread anyway, so we'll just squish the wax thread on the end and push it through. Okay, so like I said, normally it would be 2 even threads. I would go ahead and tie a cute little bow here, you know, knot it. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to take it out. We're going to pretend that's a cute little bow. On there, snip it, and that would be your outside spine. Cute little bow button on there. Just a little bit of hint of thread, so it's not as bad. If you really wanted to, when you come up through there, you could throw a button on these also. Small button. You can have coordinating ones or not fancy ones. I did find some 2 holes. You probably could use 4 holes. You would just end up putting it through 2 of the holes instead of, and leave the other 2 open. So that would be an option to do that. But again, you start this on the outside so that your string ends up being on the outside of the journal not on the inside. So, all right, well that is that version. So I'm gonna set up for the next one. Okay, on to the next one. For this one, I've decided to put a hole in each spot, and I'm going to do kind of a cross stitch, probably the only one that I know, which is a back stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, spine's on the outside obviously here, and I'm going to start with the second to bottom hole, and second to bottom hole. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we leave enough thread. Okay, and then we're gonna go into the bottom hole. All right, and now for back stitch, you go past your first stitch, and then you go back into the previous one. And again, this is going to be watch your string, make sure you're not going through it kind of deal. Pretty imperative on this one. Okay, so we're going to go to the next empty one, so on and so forth. And I have right now know that I'm not going to have enough thread here. I can just feel it. But we will see. Through the next one, and that one, and just keep back stitching. Now obviously I did not have to do every hole. You could back stitch longer back stitches. You could do it with the 5 hole if you wanted to, but I thought this would be interesting to do. And definitely if you've got some heavier stuff that you really want to make sure is in there, this would be the method to do, because this is going to be in there solid. Okay. All right, so actually it's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to come up through the last hole. So now the outside of the spine, oops, I got my double string there. Come here. Come here, tail. There we go. All right, so my outside, I would tweak it and play with it, make sure it got nice and tight, but it's a nice line there. Yeah, you could definitely hang some stuff off of there if you wanted to. All right, so what I would do now is to try to weave it back to the middle, just to get, to tie into a knot. So I would rethread this, re-needle it, get it in and out, just to, okay. And then once I got it to the middle, then I would be able to do the knots and have those in there. So again, lots of strings on the inside. Do that same method to cover it up, but I think it leaves a nice finish on the outside. So you could do that many, or you could do the same thing with this, start in the second one and go to the first, back through that one, back, and be done with it, and have a nice nice line going through there. Very sturdy. That's no way that sucker's coming out. Okay, I'm going to pause the video again and set up for the next one. This next one should be fun to do. Okay, so for the next one I'm going to do an actual book here. This one is my Secrets of the Devonwood mushroom cover book. I thought it was fun. I have covered the spine. I put some of the comic book inside here just to reinforce it, and then threw some fabric on top. I would probably then go ahead and cover this maybe, because the glue kind of leaked through, made a little mess, so I probably would cover that with whatever went with the journal I was deciding to put in there. But since I'm not really putting a journal in there, I haven't covered it. So we're going to go ahead and do our spine here. And we're going to do like I usually do, just clip the top together so that I can hold it and line this up with this side. All right. Okay, I can see the back of the spine there, and I'm going to make sure the two thumb holes are lined up on each other. Go back to this side and shift it a little bit. The spine is over. There we go. I didn't mark it with anything because it was so dark of a fabric, but I could see the spine, so we're good. Okay. So for this one, I need 5 holes, and I'm going to do the top, middle, center, not close together. So we'll start with the center one and push that through, and the end one, and center, and end, and center. All right, to make sure it's big enough, just go through here and push through, push through, push through, push through, and push through. Okay. All right, so we've got the 5 holes on here. All right. Okay, so you have seen what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw the beads on there. So I got my little box of beads ready, and I've got my needle threaded really far, because again, not sure how far I'm going to need to do this. All right, so to get them to go here, I'm going to start again, like the 5 hole in the center from the inside, and pull that through, make sure I got enough thread on the inside. And again, like I said, if there was a signature, I'd make sure the signature got through. But what I could do, since it's a little bit more complicated on the outside, is sew the outside part and then do a hidden spine where I then glued the spine that has been sewn together on its own on the inside. So they really aren't, they don't have to be the same. They could technically be a 3-hole pamphlet for the center signature where you do the fancy one on the outside. Okay, so we are going to go, since I want the loop to go from here to here, I'm going to go out through the tippy top one. Oops, got caught on my scissors. Don't get caught on the book. Okay, and gonna come up through the second one. Oops, dropped it. Okay, all right, come up through the second one. All right, so to make it just a little bit more secure, I am going to wrap it around through there, just to give it a little bit of a place to hold on to for that. So, all right, so probably if I had time, I'd put them in some sort of order how I want to do them, but I think I'm just gonna wing it and throw these on here, since I'm technically taking them off again. I did test them all beforehand to see if they would go through the needle and the thread, because you obviously want to be able to thread them. And you could, if you can't get it through the needle but could get it through the thread, you probably could just do the thread. But it definitely makes it so much easier if you can get bigger beads that will fit through both. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use all of these. We're going to see how this goes. I'm going to get a few more here. I picked some ones that I thought would be cool on here too. Greens with golds. They really had some... Oh, get in the corner. I had a fun time picking out ones to go with it. All right. Well, since I only got about 6 more left here, might as well just use them all. And we'll finish with this one because that's the one it started with. Oh, maybe not. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go get that out of the way. I'm going to put that through the second one. Well, that hole was a bit temperamental. Probably longer than I thought it would be, but cute. Okay, so then we're going to come back up through there we are, the bottom hole. Okay. All right, so again, I'm going to wrap it around the thread, not the bead, the bottom thread. And I'm going to go back down through the center. Whoops. Came off. Came off. There we go. All right. So it sort of locks the bead above that hole. And once again, we have the 2 threads that go through the center. Now, being this is a little bit, I don't know what you want to call it, just its own hole here, I would probably put something in here just to hold it in place, like a button. It will just give it a little bit of a stability so it doesn't pull back out again through the hole, because there is no center string to tie around. So this is kind of taking the place of the center string. There we go. All right. I think I am going to knock this off because it was fun. All right, so we're going to knot it a couple times. And that is in there. Nice and tight. That is not going anywhere. And that is not going anywhere. So there I have my cute little purse journal. Now one thing also you could do is instead of putting the thread through the second one, is when you came up and you would just put some beads in there, put some beads between the things so that they would lie flat on there. But I thought it would be kind of interesting to do that. Put a little closure on there. Now obviously you're not going to put stuff in there that's going to want to fall out as you kind of carry it, but you put stuff in there, just papers to write on, and you can carry your journal wherever you want and do a little closure on there. It's super cute. I love it. Yeah. So like I said, I would probably probably shouldn't have tied the button on just yet. I don't know if I can untie it. I might be able to. Yeah, I can untie it. put the signature in, either the hidden spine or whatever, and throw this through there so that it is not a lump in the center. So I'm going to take that button out. There we go. I mean, like I said, you could definitely knot it. It's just gonna, it possibly could pop through. You could also, I didn't cut it too short. You could also put it through one of these strings over here. And knot it that way. And then that's not going anywhere. And it's not going to be a big lump anywhere. So, two options. Need to glue that down. But either way, super cute. I love that. Okay. Well, I think that is going to be it for my ideas, because the other one I had was the, I sort of talked about where you put the buttons on the spine, or the beads on the spine. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Come to 3-hole or 5-hole, where you put the buttons where they go flat as you go through. Actually, I could probably do that with the thing. So let me set that up. I will be right back with that. All right, I am back with my last idea, where we're going to use buttons for the spine. So I'm gonna do it with the signature in there, just to get a little more stability. So we're gonna do the 5-hole. So we're gonna start with the thread going in there. And we'll go ahead and pick a button. I might have to de-thread this, or de-needle it, if the buttonholes are too small, but we'll see. All right, so I'll throw a button in there. And maybe another little button. I don't know, we'll have to see if it'll lay next to each other. I don't know if it will. Yeah, that'll probably work. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go down through the second one and up through the, trying to do that blindly. Up through the first one. Okay. All right, so since we're going to come down, we would want to put some sort of button here. And I found this heart one. This would be cute. I don't know if I have enough. Let's see. Let's do this one. These are buttons, are old buttons from my grandma's stash. I've talked about them before. She had a box of buttons, which I think a lot of grandmas who were in the Depression era had. They just, you know, they didn't take anything for granted. They, yeah, that's cute. They, if a garment went bad and they couldn't repair it anymore or fix it anymore or use it anymore or fits anymore, they would take off all the buttons so that they could use them to mend other things. Waste not, want not, as they say. All right, so we're going to go back down the second hole. Come on. There you go. Okay. Yeah, super cute. Okay, glad I did this one. All right, so now unfortunately I have the page with the extra pages, and I'm thinking it's this one. Yeah, that's the one. So we come up the second to bottom one. And let's go. Now this is, like I said, this is a 4-hole one, but I think if I just go opposite corners, oh, I wanted to do it the other way. Oh, that's okay. I don't know which way it goes. That sort of looks like that's like a Tim Holtz grunge, but the Tim Holtz grunge is also on this side's border. So scooch that up, and let's put this one. Now I randomly picked buttons just for 2 holes. I didn't know I'd be putting them all together. So are these the best coordinating looking ones? Maybe not. But they're all Grandma's buttons. So that makes them coordinate, right? Okay, I'll slide that down a little so I can get up the last hole here. It's funny, I'm so worried about going through the thread like I normally am, but this is not going to stay. Okay, so let's do this one. And out that one. And this one. And out that one. Okay, and we're going to go back down through the center hole. All right, hold the string out of the way, scooch the button out of the way, and push it through. I love it. Absolutely cool. Okay, so like normal, you would make sure that the thread is on each side of the string and do your little knots, chicka knots, and you would have the spine on your book. So cute. Upside down, the heart. So cute. I'm gonna throw one little knot on there so it doesn't slip. Okay, and you would bend the spine, and that would be the spine of the book. Super cute, right? I love it. Okay, well that is going to be it for me. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video, gotten some ideas, maybe not to do the exact same thing, but spark a little fun with you. If you were interested in these, I do have them finally up on my website. And to the people that have ordered them already, they are on their way with the little special gift I told everyone about earlier, the extra 1734 pages that I'm throwing in there as a thank you. For a limited time, if you get your rulers, you'll be able to get those. So hopefully people getting the rulers will enjoy those 1734 papers. All right, so if you have liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd like to see this one hit a lot of people. And as usual, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I would like to see you keep coming back for more fun like this. That's going to be it for me today. I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.